Hey guys, it is Dungeon Master Mark. I had someone the other day who asked me about a couple of comments I made about I was planning on making a home campaign for my next session. It's going to be a little bit darker, a little bit more adult themed. As you guys have probably heard before, I sometimes play Pathfinder with my son and some of his friends, and lately I've been playing a lot more games, a little bit more adult oriented. So obviously my son and his friends are not going to be playing in that game. And someone asked me about some of my ideas, and I said that one of the things I've got some ideas from is the Book of Violent Darkness, which I know some people have maybe never seen the book because it wasn't a real popular book when it came out. And like I said, this book was made by Monty Cook, and this was for 3rd edition. And obviously it has the sticker up there in the upper corner there, the content intended for mature audiences only. And this was one of those books where, obviously, you're supposed to be 18 years of older to purchase the book. And like I said, this was definitely a little bit darker version of D&D. And now that being said, this book is all about, the purest, having evil in your campaign. Which there's even a foreword about, how to use this book. And it even goes into, saying, what they wrote in here was. This book is for DMs only. This is one of those books that, if you think, if you read this book and you're just in utterly disgust, it even says, put down the book, don't use it or anything like that. But this book is definitely for a darker, a little bit more despicable game. It's evil monsters, evil spells. It's hideous. It's disgusting, and it's It's kind of what evil characters should be in all their glory, if you will. And like I said, it goes in a couple different sections on how to kind of define evil. It's one thing to have, someone who just does something because of greed or anything like that. But it kind of goes into, describing what kind of evil is. And there's kind of those things that are kind of gray areas, and then the different types of evil acts like lying, cheating, theft, betrayal, murder. Damning souls, worshipping evil gods, casting evil spells, undead, consorting with fiends, bullying, personal gain, despair, tempting others. And then it goes into some of the different things like different types of evil fetishes like cannibalism, self-mutilation, bestiality, necrophilia, psychopathy, sadism. And, some people may not understand that, not all of those are necessarily evil by themselves, but it's kind of if a certain mentality is used for the person who is evil. Like I said, it can go either way. Just because someone's a cannibal doesn't necessarily mean they're evil. What if that's just the way their society is? And it goes through some of the evil gods of different campaigns, and then it breaks it down for like different types of, I guess you almost say like an archetype for an evil person. You have the tyrant, you have a thug. You have a liar, the sophisticate, the vul, the ultimate villain, the monster. And then it gives you a couple different examples. Now, the artwork that's in here, a lot of these are kind of adult-oriented. Like I said, there is some things about demonic possession, things of that nature. Like I said, the one thing this kind of does go into detail on is the different ways of like sacrifice, torture, curses, diseases. You see the artwork, like I said, is really, really good artwork. Like I said, definitely not for the squeamish on some of these. Other aspects of evil, like the dark speech, using souls as power, using pain as power, evil weather, vile damage, the lingering effects on evil. And then the section that's definitely not for the squeamish, obviously, is torture devices and the different effects of torture on a person. How the different ways you can do damage to a person, whether it's mental damage, physical damage, constitution damage, the drug characteristics if you're trying to drug people, different types of poisons, and then the different types of deformities you can do to a person if you're trying to deform someone's eyes or things of that nature for like alchemy-based torture. And then we have some of the prestige classes such as the Cancer Mage, the Demonologist, Disciple of Amadeus, the Diabolist. Some of the different types of disciples of the different evil gods, the Life Drinker, Mortal Hunter, the Soul Eater, which I think is just an awesome class, especially if you have something really, really crazy. And obviously the picture here shows an Illithid. but you could use a mind flayer, vampire, something like that, where not only do they depend on feeding on others for kind of their sustenance, if you will, they also gain a certain enjoyment out of it, and that's how they gain a lot of their additional powers. So, like I said, very, very dark class. Thrall of Demogorgon, like the Thrall of Orcus and some of these other classes. Vermin Lords. There's some different classes. The Warrior of Darkness, and there's a couple undead classes there. The one thing this does go into a lot of detail on is evil spells, which there is a large section of evil spells, evil cleric spells, even some evil bard spells, which are kind of interesting if you want to have an evil bard in your campaign. Like I said, the artwork in here is absolutely fantastic. And one good thing I do like about this book, evil artifacts. It does give you a couple different ideas, whether it's minor artifacts or really, really strong artifacts. Like I said, angel tears, demon blood. There's one thing in here where it's actually an angel's heart, which is a minor artifact that's been converted by Orcus. And then the next section you'll see there is the Archfiends and Clerics. So how, like, you may start like a cult who's worshiping demon lords or fiends and things of that nature. And then the farther we go into the book here, you see it goes over some of the different Archfiends. So if you want to flesh out perhaps a cult or some type of power that's rising due to the demons or fiends that are trying to kind of usurp power, the different types of demons, some of the rarer types of undead creatures. And that is pretty much this book in a handbook. Now that being said, like I said, this book is not an attempt to kind of glorify evil, but it does kind of define it, and it does quantify it a little bit. Now that being said, if you're making just a true and just hero campaign, this may not be the book for you. But if you're doing something maybe a little darker, and you want your characters to face something that's truly kind of terrifying and awe-inspiring, this may be the book for you. And like I said, I haven't seen this on Amazon for a while. I'm sure if you dig around on eBay or Amazon, you can find it. Originally, this book was $32.95. Like I said, this was one of Monty Cook's works for the 3rd edition of Dungeons and Dragons. But like I said, that being said, it's definitely not a book that, if you do purchase it, definitely not something you want to have laying around, unless you like your children to read books about, torture, rape, and murdering and stuff like that. But like I said, that is what the book is about. Like I said, you can use it for a positive for your party if you want a villain that is just truly, truly evil and despicable. But that being said, there it is for you guys. If you guys have any other questions, or if there's something specifically you guys want to see a review on, please let me know. Thanks.